Okie dokie. So it's Tuesday. It's 5 or almost 5. We're a few minutes early. I typically always start these a couple of minutes early and just wait for people to join. So if you're just joining, hi. I like doing these with y'all because I feel like it is a good way to get to know y'all and answer questions as they come in, because I think that's important. I look terrible. Hi, milady. Anyways, I look terrible. I didn't put on makeup today. I mean, I don't look that bad. I can't say anything. My skin's pretty clear right now. My biggest issue always is, hey, Amanda, that I always feel the most self-conscious about when I don't wear makeup is my darkness around my eyes. Because I have, hi, Candy, terrible dark circles, and then I'm feeling better. I'm not 100%. Like, I'm still coughing, still sneezing, not as bad as I am. I've still been dealing with headaches. My sinuses are still, hi, Zoo from Florida. Hi, Jen, nice to see you. I'm glad you're new here. Hi, Nate. But yeah, no, my sinuses are still all out of whack. And I don't know if y'all remember, if y'all been with me a long time, because I did my surgery during like my YouTube channel days. I had sinus surgery 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? Yeah. Hi, Sahara from Michigan. But I had sinus surgery because I've always been prone to sinus infections. Hi, Bobby from Alabama. So I had sinus surgery done, and it has cut down on my sinus infections, but when I get them, they're so bad. And used to, I mean, I was on antibiotics so constantly, it was terrible. And I've tried everything under the sun. But I always get nervous about going on antibiotics too much, because you can build a resistance to it, and certain bacteria and things like that. Typically when I do my heat bond, I do it at the same time and temperature that I do my vinyl. So 330 degrees for 15 seconds. I do have a video on using heat bond, but I am going to do a new video on it. Hi, Jen. Anyways, but one of the things that from the comments I got from y'all yesterday was redoing some of the older videos and getting more into design work. So, but to let you know, to do more design work, hi, Angie, I'm going to do Corel Draw videos. Because honestly, I think that an art program is needed to really get some cool designs. And I think that Adobe is very expensive for most home crafters. And I think Inkscape is not the easiest to use and manipulate for the free program. So I think we're going to do some more design tutorials with Corel Draw, because honestly, unless it's a text only design, or if I'm tracing something out that I'm not going to be manipulating too much. Hey, Joe from the UK. How are you doing over there? But I think that manipulating and doing true design work, having an art program, is always the way to go. Hi, Norma. Sorry, I'm going to put on some lipstick. My lips are so chapped. And part of the problem is here, and I'm not sure about other areas, but where we live out in Southeast Texas, we don't really get much of a winter. Typically, the lowest temperatures we deal with, like on a day-to-day basis in our wintertime, is about 50 degrees. Every once in a while, we'll have a cold front come through. But the way that our temperatures work, since we are south, is that even January, February, we have days that are 75, 79 degrees, and then it'll drop to 30 degrees for 2 days and then back up to 70. And it messes with, well, Candy, and that's what I was talking about. Corel Draw for home and student use is like $99. You can find it on Amazon, things like that. It's really not expensive, and you don't always have to upgrade it to the most current version. It's just it works great. And then also the good thing about having an art program, and I talked about this in a video as well, is being able to create designs, and then it won't matter what cutter you have. Whether you have a Silhouette, a Brother Scan and Cut, a Cricut, a Graph Tech, a Roland, a GCC. Okay, so you were looking at the professional creative suite. Don't look at the professional creative suite. Look for Corel Draw Home and Family, or Home and Student, I think is what it's called. And it's about $99. So remember, Home and Student. And you can create it and use it for whatever machine you're using. Hi, she loves planners, but I'm guessing you're Beverly. You're welcome, Candy. But also you can use it whenever you're doing any type of print work. So if you have a Sublimation printer, you can use it with that. So yeah, that is always, 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 always important. Also, before I forget to remind y'all, and when we do these lives, the lighting is never that great. And it's funny because the lighting is typically so good for regular videos, but I am using my iPhone when I shoot these lives because now I have to download some software and set it all up, and that is my husband's area of expertise. Hi, Dora. Hi, Barbara. But yeah, that's my husband's area of expertise, and typically on the weekends whenever he's off, I try not to have him mess around with all that kind of stuff. But yes, having an outside art program. Hi, Joanna. Pecos, Texas. Well, I guess it depends, because some people will say that differently. I'm just used to it for Pecosville. But yeah, no, I wanted to remind everybody about the sale going on for this week. Y'all know we do the weekly wow sales, and maybe you don't, because sometimes y'all don't catch all the videos. Now on Sunday evenings, unless I'm super sick, I do post a video on Sunday evenings under the weekly wow sale playlist that tells you what the weekly wow sale is that starts on Monday. But this week for the weekly wow sale, our regular HTV, which is Thermoflex Plus, is on sale for $2.96 a sheet. It's down from $4. You don't need a code for it. The discount's added in the cart, so you have to add it to your cart, and then once you view your cart, you'll see it on the sale price. So it can get a little confusing if you're just looking at it. It's like, it doesn't look, well, this ain't on sale. It is on sale. But there's no coupon code needed for it. But yeah, see, I'm still fighting a sinus infection, but that's pretty normal. But as I said, antibiotic resistance is a real thing, and that's why I don't want to use too much antibiotics and then not be able to have antibiotics if I got a really bad virus. You know what I'm saying? Or not virus, bacterial infection. That's correct. I always get confused. Pricing videos has helped you a lot. I love to hear that. And I do try to include that. Sometimes I forget to. Oh no, I'm not going to stop doing vinyl tutorials. I love doing this. Part of the thing is, the reason why I asked about it yesterday is, hi Richard. Richard's my brother. He's on his wife's account. He lives in Tennessee. Hopefully y'all are doing well. I don't know, but we are planning on coming through there at Christmas. I don't know if Lori had a chance to tell you, but we are going to come through so we can finally meet in person. Yeah, see, and antibiotics, see, I always get confused between viral and bacterial. And I know that there are antibiotics for different things. It's kind of like with Germ-X. That's why it doesn't work for the COVID-19, the coronavirus. Yeah, see, Corel Draw on Amazon for the students, that is definitely the way to go. But for the COVID-19, Germ-X and stuff like that, they don't kill viruses, they kill bacteria. So that's why it's important to wash your hands for 20 seconds and wash them often. Don't get in anybody's face. Don't put your hands in your mouth, your eyes, your nose. I'm Mary Jane. But even if it got bad in my area, pretty much I stay at home all the time. I work from home. I mean, we still have the storefront. Hi, Christy. But we do work from home most of the time. So I can do that because I do hygiene. Oh, I'm glad that you've learned a lot from me, Jen. I try to read through these. The comments sometimes go a little fast. But yeah, no. If the virus does get bad down here, my happy hiney will be staying at home more. And that is coming from someone who is immunocompromised. Not in the fact of I can still get vaccines and stuff like that. So if they had a vaccination come out for it, I would go get it in a heartbeat. But in the fact of, since I do have an autoimmune disease, I get sick and I get really sick. My immune system's never been great. Cameron is on the same. Well, Beverly, it kind of depends on what you're wanting to do. Both the Cricut Explorer and the Cricut Maker are both great machines. If you're wanting to do more fabric cutting and cutting of different items, I do recommend getting the Maker because it does have like the rotary blade and it has some different options to use to be able to cut different materials. But if you're mainly wanting it for vinyl and paper crafts, the Cricut Explorer, they both use the same software. They both work great. Oh, I'm glad you were able to catch me. Is it 10 o'clock at night or is it 10 o'clock in the morning there? Because I know like when my husband had to work in Australia and stuff like that, it was like 16 hours difference. So I could talk to him late at night and it would be early in the morning for him there. And we would only get to talk like once a day. See, I am not, typically I do not stay up late like at all. I feel, my kids joke with me because I'm like young in an older person's body because, you know, I'm in bed by 10 o'clock. I do get up early. But I also enjoy like the peace and quiet when everybody's gone from the house, other than the dogs, and then they just come and cuddle up and love on me. But yeah, no. But yeah. Oh, I'm glad you like that. Lori Blankenship, I'm glad that you like the Deco Film Soft Metallics. They're amazing. That's one thing I like about them. I'm going to try to straighten that out some. Is that they're so soft. It definitely feels a whole lot more like screen print ink. We did go out on Sunday. We went to the movies and went and saw Onward. If you are a Disney fan or just like a good story in general, yes, you can use HTV on art canvases. I do have several videos using HTV on canvases, but we are going to do some more. I think one of the things that was requested was to go back and redo some of my old tutorials, which I think well, it's not that I think, we are going to do those. The issue that I come across the most is trying to use all the machines because everybody's got something different. That's why I wanted to make sure everybody understood that if design work was one of the #1 things requested. Well, Candy, if you can't get on our Patreon page, don't fret. Money's tight for a lot of people, and it doesn't bother me in the least little bit if you join or if you don't. We love all our patrons, but we also love our regular viewers and subscribers because things can get expensive, and trust me, I understand that just like everybody else. But what I was saying is, if y'all haven't seen Onward or you like a good family-friendly movie, we went and saw that on Sunday. It was so good. I cried so much throughout that movie, but it was so good. I don't think we're going to the movies this week because there's really not anything coming out. Plus the Heritage Festival, which is a local festival in our town, is going on. So Cameron will be out there every day. But we did that. we went to the bookstore. I got some new books because I love to read. I bought the Kim Harrison, this is Dead Witch Walking. I bought the first 3 in this series, which is the Hollows series, to try out because I like to read books that are in series because I like to have stories that continue with characters. And I also love anything that has like vampires and werewolves and witches and all that kind of stuff. If you've watched me for a while, y'all know I'm kind of like a mess where I love Disney and cartoons and stuff like that and pink and glitter. But if I'm not watching something Disney, almost 90% of what I watch is like scary movies and crime documentaries. I love that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of weird with that. But, you know, to each their own. I've already pre-ordered tickets to go see The Quiet Ones Part 2. We're excited to see that. We did go see the original in theaters. We saw The Invisible Man in theaters. I really liked how they did the invisible. I'm not going to give anything away, but I really liked how they did how he turns invisible. I do have, Christy, if you look, I do have some videos on CorelDRAW, but I'm going to definitely do more. But that's one of the things I was saying, like, just to kind of keep things simplified, because to me, it's the easiest and best way to do things by doing it in an art program. We're going to use CorelDRAW for design videos. So, just to kind of let everybody know where I'm at, what I'm thinking, that's what we're going to do. We also, what else did we go see? The Call of the Wild, really good. I can't think of a bad movie that we've seen lately. On Valentine's Day, we went and saw Fantasy Island. That was good. I liked how that turned out. And it was a lot darker than the original Fantasy Island. But I can say this, like there are certain things, like if there's a musical TV show or something like that, I tend to watch those. We've been watching, hi Andrea from Texas, but we've been watching, me and Cameron, because he likes watching those things with me too, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. Excellent songs. And I really like the show so much. Yes, I do like fantasy novels, Julius. And I really like series. Like I read all of the Suki Stackhouse novels. Loved those. I've read, what else? I've read so many different series, it's not even funny. But yeah, fantasy, that kind of thing. I love my wall too. And it's sad because this year we're not going to Disney. We were going to go this summer, but with the virus going around, the COVID-19 coronavirus, I don't feel comfortable going. I haven't read any R.A. Salvatore. If you have any book recommendations, leave them in the comments, and then that way I can go back and look and see. Yeah, see, I spend a lot of time watching ID. Well, actually, okay, so we don't have cable at home. I refuse to pay for it. We have Hulu, we have Netflix, we have Amazon Prime, and we have Disney Plus. So I can pretty much watch whatever I want to that way. What's my view on foot fetishes? I think it's a little odd, my personal opinion. I don't like anybody touching my feet. Oh, I gotta show y'all my shirt. It's another shirt I ordered from The Buckle. It says Texas, go big or go home. Isn't that cute? But yeah, I typically, and my husband knows this, when a new season starts approaching, I buy several new pieces of clothing. One thing about it is, thank you, Christy, is that when I'm, since I'm on camera so much, you have to realize, and a lot of you may not, but between this channel, I'm on recorded video typically Sunday now, since we started doing our weekly wow sales, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I have recorded videos 4 days a week, and then I do the lives on Tuesdays. Then I have a second channel where I talk about makeup and if I'm planning a trip or anything like that, in my keto and CrossFit, because some of you may or may not, I don't feel comfortable. Sorry, I'm not sure what happened. It like cut out. But anyways, I am What was I talking about? But some of you may or may not know, between the medicines that they put me on for my fibromyalgia that I'm not taking, it completely messed with my metabolism. And even though I used to be a very tiny little person, I mean, I'm not tall by any means, I'm only 4'11". After having Cameron, because when I was pregnant with Cameron, my youngest, I had preeclampsia, diabetes, and toxemia. So I put on a ton of weight, even though I was meeting with the dietitian and very careful about what I ate, but especially because of the preeclampsia, I would hold on to water and gain so much weight that even after I had him, my weight since then has been up and down, because like I'll get on a kick and go on a diet, and then I would get sick or something and then go off of it and then not restart it. So weight has always been an issue for me. So I do keto and CrossFit. I haven't worked out in about a month. I have went and walked on my mother-in-law's treadmill, but like going and doing a hardcore CrossFit workout, I haven't felt good enough to do it. I'm hoping to get back to it this week. I'm still fighting being sick, so hopefully I will get over all of that. But slowly but surely we're getting there. But keto's been going good lately. My body with carbs, my body and carbs do not get along. It's like if I eat a piece of bread, my body wants to put on 10 pounds. So, and I know this is a struggle that a lot of men and women have. I'm not unique to it. Yes, see, you understand with thyroid disease. And between anybody out there who's been put on medication, doesn't matter what it's for. A lot of times side effects are weight gain. And it's always, that's a terrible feeling when you're doing everything you can and the weight's not coming off. It doesn't matter how well you eat. But yeah, keto works well for me. As I said, carbs are not my friend. I don't want to cut them out forever, and I do try to, I mean, even still, like keto and CrossFit, or keto especially, has been going really well. I'm actually losing weight. But like Sunday, we went and had Panera bread for lunch. We went to the movies on Sunday morning, and the only thing I had to eat at the movies was I got a pickle, because pickles are keto. But we went to Panera bread for lunch, and I had a Caesar salad with no croutons, because Caesar salad's a great one for keto. But we decided, because right next door, because we had to go to the T-Mobile store to get Cameron a new phone. His phone died out, and he was getting one anyway for his 13th birthday. One of the things I've done with all three of my kids is when they turn 13, I will buy them a brand new phone, typically an iPhone. They've all wanted iPhones. The newest, not always the best, because Cameron didn't get a Pro, he just got a regular iPhone 11. I will buy it then, but if you want one after that, because Caden and Nadia both are on their second phone since Nadia's on her third phone, Caden's on his second phone, because Nadia's 19 fixing to be 20 and Caden's fixing to be 18, that they have to pay for. I'll do it once, but if they want them again, because cell phones are expensive, and it teaches them to work and understand what things cost, which I think is extremely important. My kids, I provide a lot of things for them, but I don't want to give them everything under the sun, because I see too many kids nowadays, because, you know, I have my own business and I've had teenagers and things like that work for me who don't understand the value of hard work. So teaching my kids that has always been important, and I've tried to instill them at a young age. I don't believe in allowances, and some people think that I'm wrong for that, but I think that housework, if I have to clean house and my husband has to clean house or mow the lawn because it's our household, then why should my kids get paid an allowance for doing the dishes if I'm cooking their dinner? Because whenever they're an adult, they're not going to get paid to clean their house. They just have to do it. It's part of being in a family, or part of being in a household, or part of being an adult. So teaching them young to do those types of things, I think, is important. Sometimes my mother-in-law thinks that I'm too hard on my kids, but also on the same hand, I don't want it to be that if in 20 years my kids need me to buy everything for them or pay for their kids because they didn't plan or save well. And I guess part of my mentality from that is, you know, I've been on my own. I moved out as soon as I turned 17 and worked a full-time job. And thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Candy. But took care of things. My husband and, you know, Nadia was born whenever he was 17 and we were dating. And then we had Caden at 19, got married at 19. And you can ask my mother-in-law and my father-in-law. We didn't ask for help. We stayed with them a little bit, but we've always tried to do everything on our own. And my kids, even when we were making nothing, always had nice clothes. I'm a great sales shopper. Always had good Christmases, good birthdays. Just, you know, it is what it is. And we've worked hard to get to the place that we are, and we want to instill that into our children, that a good work ethic is extremely important. You shouldn't expect it for free. You know, I've been asked, I was on the news whenever here in Texas, probably about 6 months into when we opened up Cuttin Corners, I had a news crew come by and ask if I would be willing to talk on camera my thoughts on raising minimum wage. And as I said, I have no issue with thoughts on minimum wage going up, but here's the problem, and what most people don't realize is that if minimum wage goes up, the cost of everything else will go up. And I don't think that it's always fair to raise the price of minimum wage, raise all of the price of goods, and then people who are making above minimum wage don't get the same increase in money. Does that make sense? And to me, a minimum wage job is for someone who's just starting out, you know, working at a fast food restaurant, just starting, doing whatever. It's typically for people, in my opinion, that aren't needing it to live off of. But I mean, I know some people have to, but as someone who's worked their way up to get past minimum wage, it's kind of sad because, you know, as they've raised minimum wage and having jobs that I wasn't making minimum wage, making above, and seeing everybody else get $1 or $2 or $3 an hour raises and nobody else getting them, it kind of stinks, you know. My husband and I were talking about this, how they're talking about raising minimum wage to $15 an hour. You know, if you're making that kind of money and say the cost of goods didn't go up, what's going to make it where you want to have a better job, you know? And maybe that's a wrong thought on things, but again, that's my personal opinion. Can you use flexible vinyl? What kind of flexible vinyl are you talking about, Jonathan? Are you talking about stretch vinyl? I'd have to know which kind of vinyl you're talking about. HTV. So you're talking, because all okay, yeah, stretch vinyl you can use on cotton. You really don't need to though. But yes, you can use stretch on cotton. Yeah, see, Julius, people starting off getting paid. I mean, Lord, whenever I first started working, this is going to tell my age, in Texas, the minimum wage was $5.25 an hour. And then it went up to $5.75. And I worked at 17 years old because I had to gain skills to be able to get better than minimum wage jobs. I worked 2 full-time minimum wage jobs, so that way I could support myself. I'm not opposed to hard work. And like even in my store and stuff like that, certain jobs are minimum wage jobs, other jobs you make more at, but you can work your way up. And I do believe on raises. I do believe raises are very important. I mean, I don't think anybody should stay stagnant at a certain level. I think that raises are extremely important because it also shows your employees that you appreciate their work ethic if they're doing the right thing. Okay, so see, a stretch vinyl isn't always softer than the touch. It kind of depends on the brand. My favorite said if you're wanting something super soft to the touch, now there aren't as many colors in it, and like the whitest semi-transparent is the Deco Film Soft Metallic. It's by Specialty Materials. If you use it, you will understand what I'm talking about. It melts in the shirt. That's what I did whenever I used it on this Sassy Lassie shirt. I have it right here. This is the one I did the tutorial on, doing a hand-drawn image in Cricut Design Space. But you can't even, like, if I turn to the side, you can't see the difference between the vinyl and the shirt. It like melts into it. So it is super soft. I'm gonna wad it up next to the microphone. You can't hear the vinyl crunch. You see what I'm saying? So it melts into that fabric, and I love this stuff. I've talked to the owners a couple of times about adding more colors, because there's a lot of colors that are just a metallic, to have more matte finish, because I think if they did that, it would be a game changer. So yeah, Jonathan, I do sell it on my website, but again, as I tell people, you don't have to purchase from me, but I always give everybody that option. You know, we do run a small business. I have employees. I have a good group of employees, but all of my kids work for me. Me, my mother and father-in-law all work there. Yeah, see, they think that they don't realize how much things cost. And even like, see, Candy, they really don't have a good soft glitter yet, but I'm sure they're gonna make one at some point. But the problem is, like, there are some, like, they make a metal flake, Specialty Materials does, in the Thermoflex line. I don't sell it because it's not something that's super popular, because if people want glitter, they want the super sparkly glitter, but that's typically only achievable in the texture. That's my opinions on it. But like, yeah, Cameron, whatever. Yes, glitter vinyl is very expensive. It is a lot more expensive than the regular, but you got to realize that it is a lot more labor intensive, because they are actual loose glitter particles that are bonded into the vinyl. They're not going to come off when you wash it because of the way it's done, but that's how you get that super glittery effect. I mean, think about it. When you go buy a bottle of glitter, it ain't cheap. But also making it where you can use it and you can wash it and it doesn't come off, that's also important. But back to, like, when Cameron was 6, he wanted an iPad so bad, and an iPad mini back then was like $500 or $600. So I told him that if he saved up half the money, we would pay for the other half. So he would do whatever he could. He would go to his granny's house, take out the trash. He would go up to the shop and take out the trash. He would go up and help clean things and weed vinyl and stuff like that. And he earned his portion of the money, and then we paid for the other half. It wasn't that long ago that we finally got rid of the iPad, and he's fixing to be 13 because he took such good care of it. Because when they pay for things themselves and realize how many hours they have to work to get something, a lot of times it makes a difference. I mean, that's just how my kids are. I feel like I've got a hair or something in my lipstick. Who knows? But yeah, that is just kind of how we do things in our household. And again, that may not work for everybody because, you know, Nadia and Caden, leather-like journals. You don't want to melt the journals. Okay, so typically on pleather, especially on a journal, HTVs will work, and you can go in at a lower time and temperature. Low and slow is always my recommend. Try it at like the deco films, those can stick at about between 295 and 305 degrees. But try low and slow. Go low, go slow. If it sticks at 275 at 2 seconds, you're better off, because going back in once it's cooled completely and not leaving under the heat, you're not gonna mess it up by trying it a little bit longer. But I would get a test journal to practice on, to see kind of like if you wanted to do it at the 330 degrees. Norma, some does, most of it does actually, but some of it will have like a frosted backing. Now printed vinyl does, not all printed vinyl has the backing. Like the stuff we sell on our website that we print in-house doesn't have a backing, but the stuff that we sell, the fashion film, the fashion prints film by Specialty that we also sell, it has a backing. They have a process where they can print and bond the backing to it. We don't have that capability in-house. But that's the only one that I know for sure that doesn't have a backing. But some have more of like a frosted backing instead of a fully clear backing. Hopefully that makes sense. But there are also, and some people don't realize this either, not all HTV, because most people think of HTV as being a clear sticky backing. Some are pressure sensitive applied to that, so it's not sticky at all, which can be a little bit different to work with. I'm not a big fan of that. So anyways, but yeah, that's kind of where we are. Oh, okay, so it's 5:30. I guess I'm gonna let y'all go. I gotta go feed my family. I gotta go start cooking. Making spaghetti. Spaghetti, if I use zoodles for myself, and if you're not familiar with what zoodles are zucchini noodles. I have a spiralizer attachment for my KitchenAid, but when I'm feeling lazy, I'll buy, like they'll have it in the frozen section at most grocery stores. Green Giant has zoodles already pre-cut, and all you have to do is steam them yourself. Those are pretty good. And what's nice about it is they take on the flavor of the spaghetti sauce, so they don't have that vegetable-y taste, which I don't mind anyway. They can be a little bit crispier than regular noodles, but I like them. But anyways, I need to go start making spaghetti sauce for my family. It's spring break, so it feels like, and the kids are at home because it's spring break. Cameron's going up to the Heritage Festival after a while, after we eat. But I guess that's it. Remember, we'll see y'all tomorrow for a new tutorial. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I'm trying to go through everybody's comments from yesterday's video and see kind of what's most popular. But I guess that's it. So we shall see y'all tomorrow. Bye.